Hey guys, how's it going? Solo back with another daily update video, and a very interesting day in the market today. Some crazy stuff happened, some surprises. So let's take a look at the heat map. We'll talk about the overall market going forward. Wasn't a great day overall as far as my technical analysis either, just because basically the news events overshadowed any sort of technical analysis or any sort of price prediction that you could have done on the tickers that I was looking at, playing mainly AMD. But look at the heat map here, you can see pretty much red again all across the board except for big tech, right? Amazon, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Apple, all green. Nvidia also up almost 2%. Big story of the day though, AMD down minus 4.1%. We were down minus 5% for a good chunk of the day. We did rally a little bit during power hour, which we'll take a look at. Intel was also down 2.3%. Intel is just getting hammered right now, coming off their bad earnings. But let's get right into it. Let's take a look at AMD and talk about what happened this morning. So pre-market, you can see we were pretty much flat. If you looked actually at the after hours trading, AMD got hit hard. I mean, they were down to about $78 per share. And that's because this morning, pre-market, it was announced that their deal to buy out Xlnx, ticker symbol Xlnx, actually went through, and they agreed to buy them for $35 billion in stock. So just like when those rumors first came out, AMD dropped and Xlnx stock went up. So basically the same thing happened today, where once the market opened, you can see as soon as the market opened 9:30 a.m., we just sold off hard for the first half an hour. We were down 4.8% within the first 30 minutes. We did rally a little bit up until just before noontime, sold off again and was pretty much flat. And then power hour came around where we rallied a little bit. But I don't think this power hour rally is because of AMD. The whole market rallied a little bit during the power hour. So, I mean, rough day for AMD. We haven't seen kind of a minus 4% day in AMD in a long time, I think. And we did rally a little bit after hours. So that's a plus, I guess, but we're still red for the day, even accounting for after hours trading. But the other surprising thing that happened was Sube pulled a fast one on us because they actually released their earnings pre-market as well. If you looked at the earnings whispers reports, they were supposed to have earnings right now, after hours on Tuesday. But instead, they snuck earnings in as well during the pre-market hours. So it's funny because as soon as the market opened, and let's take a look at the options chain and I'll show you what I'm talking about. If you saw my video from last night, in terms of my covered calls that I have on AMD that expire this Friday, I told you as of after hours or after market close yesterday, I was like 30-40% profitable, I believe. Right now, if I take a look at those 89 strike covered calls, you can see they're trading for 13 cents. They were trading for, I believe, $1.50 or something at the end of the day yesterday. So how in the world, as soon as the market opened, I was like 92% profit on my covered calls. And I said, how in the world did that happen? Because the price did not drop that much. I mean, yes, AMD's shares did drop 4%, but it shouldn't go from 30%, 40% profit to 90% in basically not even one day of trading, in after hours trading. And that's when it hit me, because that's when I found out that AMD released their earnings pre-market. And so that was IV crush. I mean, the volatility on AMD dropped so much that in addition to the change in delta, meaning the change in the share price being further away from my strike price, I became 90% profitable for the whole day. I mean, right now at market close, I'm up 95% profit. Now, I was asking myself, should I close this out now and open up more covered calls? Well, that strategy would only be smart if I think tomorrow or the rest of the week is going to be a green day. Because if it's going to be red again tomorrow or flat, then I would have left money on the table. I mean, if we get to 99% profit tomorrow, then most likely I will close out my covered calls and probably sell a covered call for the following Friday, November 6th. But I most likely will do it at the $85 strike price, because that's the cost basis, or that's where I was assigned my shares at. So right now, if I were to do that November 6th covered calls for the 85 strike, I would get $123 per contract, which is not bad. Can't complain about that. And like I said, I do want my shares to get called away, but part of me is hoping that we do rally tomorrow. Tomorrow, AMD is going to have their Big Navi GPU reveal conference, so I'm hoping for a little bit of a gap up tomorrow. But you know what? Worst case scenario, I made a good play. I might as well just ride it out to max profit if AMD is going to trade flat for the rest of the week, which I think may happen, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of surprising that AMD pulled a fast one on us and had earnings this morning instead of their scheduled time after market close. And honestly, I didn't know that companies could do that. I guess they're not locked in, or they're not forced to do their earnings when they're supposed to do them, which is kind of interesting. But let's take a look at the TradingView chart on AMD to see where we are today. So this big red candle today is what happened today. If you saw my video last night, you know I was hoping that we'd be up here somewhere in the like $83, $84 range, and the complete opposite happened. I mean, we bounced off again to the downside, unfortunately, off the 50-day moving average, which is pretty much right at $82. And thankfully, we stayed above $78. So we closed at about $78.88. We're up maybe 50 cents or so in after hours trading, which is a good sign. But you can see the intraday candle, or the intraday wick, I should say, got all the way down to the mid 77s. And I was scared because I have an area of support at about 78, which thankfully we closed above it. But the reason why I was scared was after this level of support at 78, if that broke, the next level of support I've identified is at $74. And what scares me the most is that from about 71 to 74 is a gap that may get filled. So I really hope 78 doesn't break, because if 78 breaks, then I think we may end up dropping all the way down to 71. So that's part of why I'm so scared and I want to get my shares called away. I hope we do rally into the mid 80s soon. I can get my shares called away. And then if AMD wants to drop to 71, great. I'll try and get in at the 70s or in the 60s and just run the wheel again. But I am concerned. The reason the overall market was red today, and I think also it basically dragged AMD down with it as well. I don't think the market being red and AMD buying Xilinx basically just compounded to have AMD have a rather big red day. But what happened was that no stimulus deal got passed, and today the Senate is leaving to essentially be on break until after the election. So now it is near impossible, or very unlikely that a stimulus bill is going to happen until after the election. So obviously the market didn't like that, because we were all kind of hoping for a stimmy to come along and pump the market. But hopefully, we'll have accepted that as the market, and then we'll trade normally for the rest of the week up until the election. I'm concerned that we'll just keep continuing to have red days until the stimulus bill happens, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, like I said, we broke this trend, which is not a good sign. We broke below this area of support at 80, came close to breaking below 78. So my only wish for the rest of the week is that we stay above 78, ideally above 80, 81, and we'll just wait and see what happens. But yeah, rough day in the market overall, rough day for AMD, but they threw us a curveball. I mean, they had basically two big events that happened at the same time: the purchase of Xlnx and also releasing earnings. And the crazy thing is that AMD reported good earnings. They actually beat earnings. So I think it's a combination of the stock just going down once they announced a buyout of Xlnx. I mean, Xlnx stocks went through the roof, whereas AMD's went down. And the same thing happened when the rumor was first announced about, a week or two ago? And I think, like I said, they got dragged down by the market overall. But what are you going to do? Let's just take a look at some other earnings that are happening right now, because Microsoft played by the rules and actually has earnings right now like they said they would. And let's just see. After hours trading looks a little choppy. It looks like it is selling off a little bit on Microsoft. Do we have numbers yet? No, well, this is odd. They were reporting how are they reporting first quarter 2021 numbers already? And this is quarter 4 2020. That was a beat. I'm sure this is, I guess, mislabeled. I think Robinhood is a little bit drunk right now. I'm thinking this should represent fourth quarter 2020 and represent an earnings beat, but we'll have to check in on that. Other big companies, 3M, let's see how they're doing. I'm assuming they probably had a good earnings with all the, oh, they're pretty flat. That's actually surprising. So 3M's pretty flat, but as you can see, it was a red day overall for them. Let's take a look at JetBlue, because I'm sure they're not doing so hot right now. That's JBlue is the ticker symbol. Oh, they're also pretty flat as well. Maybe they haven't reported yet. Let's take a look. Oh yeah. Oh no, they did report. Looks like they were down. Oh, they actually beat their expected earnings. They weren't as down as much as people thought they were. But let's take a look at Raytheon before we close out the episode. Raytheon, let's see. Oh, they're also pretty much flat as well after hour. Did they report? Yes, they did. So also they had an earnings beat as well. So good for them, but kind of flat. The stock market really didn't care. But look at this, just slowly selling off all day long. Anyway, that was my trading video today. I'm probably gonna watch the AMD GPU reveal event live tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. I think it's gonna be in the afternoon like it was for the CPU reveal. And we'll see how AMD stock goes. Hopefully they'll recover and have a little bit of a bounce back. And hopefully we'll end the day, or end the week I should say, in the mid 80s like I thought we would this weekend. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Make sure you join our Discord server. And as always, happy trading.